In this week's tournament, the Negros Occidental Golf and Country Club could be there for the taking. It's par 70 with 6,197 yardage, which may be short by the field standard. But it won't be any less difficult even with the absence of the wind. With its relatively short fairways, its emphasis would be on one's iron game and putting. A short game skill is definitely an advantage in this leg. Juvic Pagunsan, the homegrown bet and the favorite, was expected to take the lead in this week's leg. Another bet is Robert Pactularin, a Negrense who has knowledge of the layout, also expects torrid scoring in the next 3 days, although it would also depend on the pin placements. Without a doubt, the greens are the last line of defense against the players. With its undulating surface that challenged their putting skills. Joining in the hunt for the title were Elmer Salvador, Richard Cienfuegos, Artemio Murakami, Mars Pucay, Cassius Casas, Marvin Dumandan, Ferdy Aunzo, June Bernice, Rufino Bayron, Gerson Balasabas, and another local talent, Rodrigo Coelho. Stick around and let's see how they strut their way on day 2. Another remarkable day at the NOGCC. The fancied Pagunsan played true to form and in the lead with a 66, while Tony Las Cunha stayed one stroke back with a 67. Tailing the leader was Anthony Fernando, who led his team to the Pro-Am win. He caught up with Rufino Bayron in third at 68 with 4 birdies. While local bet Robert Pactularin flashed his familiarity with a tight layout and fired a 69 for a tie with Gene Bondoc and Mars Pucay. Meanwhile, Rodrigo Coelho, another local, led the group who all scored a 70, including rookie Carl Santos Ocampo, Joel Opaco, James Ryan Lam, Cookie Lao, and Mark Fernando. Gerson Balasabas salvaged a 71 to join the big bunch. That includes the other fancy players like Marvin Dumandan, Elmer Salvador, Ferdy Aunzo, and Richard Cienfuegos. Also in that group are Ray Bolano, Ramonito Ortega, Rodolfo Aldimer, Godofredo Cienfuegos, and Ruben Sasutil. Day 2 served a difficult round for the professionals. Pagunsan still taking the lead, but buzz spread out as Juvic recklessly abandoned his caddy over arguments on breaks, but still managed a 67. Again, Las Cunha returned a second straight 67 to remain a shot behind even. While rookie pro Mark Fernando carried a 66, leaving him just 3 behind. Richard Cienfuegos fired a 69 to tie Anthony Fernando and Mars Pucay at even 140. Marvin Dumandan carded an even par 70 for a 141 and a share of 8th with Artemio Murakami, Gene Bondoc, and June Bernice. Zanny Boy Gialon shot a 72 for a total 145 and remained the leading amateur for this leg. It was shaping up to be a very exciting final round, with Pagunsan and Las Cunias scores not far behind from each other. It definitely shows that we have the country's best shot makers. Stick around for more action on the final day. Welcome to Day 3. The competition is heating up. Let's see who will bring home the title of being the champion. Juvic Pagunsan, Tony Las Cunias, and Mark Fernando completed the championship flight. Juvic and Tony took all the time reading the greens. After the front nine, Mars Pucay, Richard Cienfuego, and Robert Pactularin went up ahead of the leaders. It's the final day and still 9 holes to finish the round. It's still anybody's ballgame. Artemio Murakami, Anthony Fernando, most fondly called as Tonight, and June Bernice were up for the runners-up title. Robert Pactularin is silently keeping his steady game and slowly taking his place in the race. In hole number 11, Juvic Pagunsan sat down after complaining about blisters on his foot. He took time off to put a bandage, but ever since then, his game was not the same. On hole number 18, Robert Pactularin finishing his round and forcing a playoff with Tony Las Cunias as they both salvaged a 5-under 205 total. Get glued as we bring you the winning moments of the ICTSI Negros Occidental Classic. The highlights of the game up next.